Today we're going to create a Keith Haring figures in action drawing. Now the reason why we are doing this is because it hits up a lot of principles of design. It's going to create the sense of movement with our figures in poses of action. We are going to include pattern meaning when something repeats in a certain order. We're going to create a lot of patterns around our figures. We're also going to introduce the next principle of design, which is called rhythm. Rhythm in art simply means when the arrangement of shapes and colors creates an underlying beat. It's kind of similar to music, but instead of notes, it's using colors and shapes. So anytime that there's a variance of big shapes and small shapes, or lines that are connecting one to the other, anything that looks like it's a rhythmic beat is rhythm in art. So in order to do this lesson, what we're going to need is a blank piece of paper. You're also going to need a pencil with an eraser. You'll also need a black marker. In order to do the patterns and the different lines, highly recommend using colored markers and colored crayons. Now, if you are missing markers, you can use crayons or colored pencils or whatever you have to color in is fine. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to be drawing our figures in action. Okay, now Keith Haring, when he was creating his figures, he didn't spend too much time on adding facial features. He just concentrated on creating the basic form. Now, some of you might have trouble drawing the body in different poses, but I'm going to show you how to take stick figures and turn them into the Keith Haring-like figures. So first thing, let's get out our pencil, and anywhere on your page, the first thing that we're going to start off with is the circle for the head of our figure. And we want to have at least 3 figures on our page. So look to see how you might fit those 3 figures, maybe 1, 2, 3. Wherever you want to put your first figure, let's start off with the circle for the head, just like that. Okay, next, maybe I want my figure to be somewhat kind of curved to the sides. So I'm going to take that pencil and I'm going to make the spine curve a curved line, just like that. Then maybe I want my legs to be bent. So at the end of that spine curved line, what I'm going to do is do a diagonal line up. That's going to be the raised knee. Then wherever I want my knee to end, I'm going to do a diagonal line back down and a little line for the foot. Next, maybe my other leg is bent the other way. So I'm going to do another kind of zigzag line where it goes diagonal to one side, diagonal to the other side, little line for the foot. For the arms, we want our arms kind of outstretched or in different poses, but when you are doing the lines for the arms, make sure that you're not putting the arms way down here in the middle of the body. You want the arms to start towards the head, so leave a little space for kind of like a neck area, and then what you want to do is bring your arm line out however you want it to be. Maybe add a little bubble for the hand. So that arm might be stretched out. Maybe my other arm, starting in the same area, is bent down and then back up, little bubble for the hand. So there's my first figure. Maybe I can squeeze my second figure right here, maybe a little bit lower to create that sense of rhythm where it's not just all in a straight line, but is in different areas to create sort of like a beat. So I'm going to have my next person a little bit lower. I'm going to shift it over, leaving enough space in between them. I'm going to start off with the circle for the head. Then maybe the spine line for this figure is curved the other direction. Then maybe I'll have one leg kind of up and bent at the knee, back down, little foot, but maybe the other one is just standing straight with a little foot. For the arms, up to you, but I'm gonna have one of them, I'm gonna see, maybe I'll bend it down, bubble for the hand, and then the other one maybe bent up like that, bubble for the hand. Again, your figures don't have to be going in the same poses as mine, but in case you want to see how I'm doing it, you can follow me step by step. For my last figure, maybe my head is back up, and so I'm gonna draw the circle for my head. Maybe it's curved, still maybe slightly in this direction, but then one leg going out, coming back in, and then one really stretched out to the side, little foot. Maybe one of my arms is just going downward, bubble for the hand. Maybe my other one is slightly stretched out again. So up and diagonal out, bubble for the hand. Okay. Now that I have the outline of my stick figures drawn in pencil, what I'm going to do in order to make those stick figures turn into figures that have dimension, I'm going to use my black marker to create a slight bubble around the sticks, and then I'm going to erase my sticks afterward. So what you can do is once you're done with the stick figures in pencil, get out that black marker. Okay, the first thing we can do, we'll start off with one figure. I'm going to outline that circle that I had created with pencil. But then for the body, instead of going over my pencil lines, I'm gonna start above or at the side of my pencil lines, and I'm just gonna draw a parallel line, kind of like a bubble around the stick, okay? So once I have it started, I'm gonna continue to draw that bubble around my person's body, not outlining the actual stick, but just drawing kind of parallel line like a bubble around. Now, if your bubble all of a sudden runs into itself, you can just kind of skip it. Don't go over the bubble that you just made. Just let the one area overlap and just keep drawing that bubble around your figure. Keeping those lines parallel to your other lines, not outlining the sticks. Awesome. So we have our first figure that's outlined. Let's do our second one. So I'm outlining the circle for the head. Then just drawing a bubble around the sticks I've already made. Anytime it hits another outline, remember you're just gonna let it be, skip it, let it overlap, and continue your bubble. Even going around that bubble for the hands, going back to the body. All right, now I'm on my third figure. Outlining the head, bubble around the arm, hands, body, letting it not over, just letting it overlap right there. Bubble around the leg and foot. Back up. Bubble around the hand, and that's it. Now that I have my figures bubbled, so now that they have dimension, I'm gonna take my eraser, I'm gonna erase those sticks of the pencil lines on the inside. So go ahead, take your eraser and erase as best as you can the pencil lines that are on the inside of your figure. Okay, I've erased my pencil lines on the inside. Now I get to pick colors to color in my figures. And remember, Keith Haring used just one solid color. So you can pick different colors for your people, but keep them all one solid color. So it's up to you what colors you want. I'm gonna go into Warp Speed to color in my figures in different colors. All right, I've colored in my 3 figures, 3 different solid colors. I'm now starting to add the pattern that surrounds my figures. Now, you guys know that a pattern is just when some visual element repeats itself in a certain order, so you get to pick whatever patterns you want to fill your space. But maybe let's start off with outlining our figures just with one solid color. So pick any colors that you want, but you can just take your markers or crayons, up to you, and let's just take the color and go around our figure to really make it look like it's almost glowing. So I'm gonna pick different colors for each figure, but what I'm doing is I'm just taking my marker and I'm outlining around the outside of my figures. You don't have to use the same colors as me. I just wanted to show you how I was gonna do it. So again, you can pick different colors, but once you have that line that kind of goes around the outside of your figure, it almost looks as though that figure is glowing, which creates a really cool rhythmic effect. So you go ahead, take your markers, outline around the outside of your figures, each one maybe a different color, just to give, again, a sense of variety and rhythm. Last but not least, I'm going to use my last one, going around the outside of my figure, giving it that glow effect. Even on the inside. Awesome. All right, now that we have our different colors that give that glow effect, let's do one kind of unifying pattern that goes around our figures. So in order for us to do one unifying pattern, what we might do is have some sort of speech bubble or design that goes around our figures so that one unifying pattern is around all of them. So it doesn't matter what color you use, doesn't matter if it's crayon or marker, but somewhere drawing just like a scalloped line speech bubble with some zigzag lines. You want to go around your figure, dipping down where it dips down, but going around the group of them, just with some scalloped lines, maybe a little spike here or there, just to give it some interest. Going around. It's okay if it goes off the page, that doesn't matter, but you just want to bring that sort of bubble, that speech bubble around your figures, dipping in when it needs to, dipping back out so that it goes around your figures. And that's it. Awesome. Now that we have that line that's unifying all of them, I'm going to pick a certain pattern, doesn't matter what, to fill in the negative space meaning the white background space in between all of them. I'm going to go into warp speed to do some sort of pattern on the inside of this bubble. All right, I filled in that bubble with repeating circles of magenta. Now I might put this black and white checkered outline around that bubble of my people. So in order to do that, what you can do is you can get back your black marker, or you can use whatever colors you would want to use. But what you're gonna do is leave a little space above that line that we just created to make our speech bubble that went around. And then we're just gonna draw a parallel line that's going in the same direction at the same time as that little magenta line that I have of that speech bubble. Now yours might be a different color, but I'm just gonna go around, leaving a little space in between, but drawing a parallel line that goes in the same direction at the same time as the line that was going around unifying all my figures. Once I have that line going all the way around, it's okay if it goes off this page, but once it goes all the way around, I'm just gonna take my marker and I'm just going to make little black dashes on the inside to make the pattern of black and white checkered stripes. Now again, you might be using a different color than me, and that is a-okay. If you do not want to put the black and white checkered line, that's fine too, but I just wanted to show you how I created that kind of black and white checkered line going around my page. All right, I'm gonna go into Warp Speed to finish it off. All right, I finished my checkered stripe that goes around, and now all you're gonna do is fill in the rest of the negative space meaning the white space background, with different sort of patterns. Now your patterns obviously do not have to be the same as mine, but try to use different patterns filling in the different sort of white sections. I'm gonna go into Warp Speed to fill in the different sections of my white space with different patterns. All right, I finished filling in all the rest of the negative space, that white space, with different colored patterns, and now my picture is complete. Well, friends, I hope you had fun doing this lesson, and I can't wait to see yours.